Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Ethan. Hope you're having a great day with my boy Stone here.
What up?
It's fucking 3 a.m. We're starting another session at the bike. Good old bike here. I love this space. It's the place with the most action. Hop into the 5-5 game. Buddy Stone here. Hop into the 2-3.
2-3.
Gonna run it up. You ever started a session at 3 a.m.?
No.
We're in LA. We gotta live it up somehow, I guess. I still haven't adjusted to the time difference yet.
It's also cold in LA. Happen often.
Yeah, it's cold and it's 3 a.m. We're starting a session. So with that said, hopefully you enjoy the video. Wish us luck, and we'll just get this going. We'll just get into the hands. We don't have that much time to waste. There's only so little night time left until the sun comes up. So we'll hop in there. Hopefully you enjoy the video. Let's get into some spots. Wish us some run good. See how it goes. Let's hop into the action real late here. So, first hand, ace-jack offsuit on the button with a under the unstraddle. There are two limps here, and now onto me on the button in position here, certainly putting in the raise. So I sized to $65. The small blind, who has about $800 effective, makes the call, and the limpers actually fold. So we're going to go to the flop, heads up, and the flop is queen 10-7 2 diamonds. He checks to me, and with an over, with a gutter ball, I'm going to be just checking it back with decent enough showdown and evaluate on the turn. So I check it back, and the turn comes the 3 of spades. He immediately throws out a bet of $75. The speed of this bet makes me feel a little suspicious that he has a weak hand, potentially just bluffing. So with ace-jack high, also with a gutter, I make the call for 75. The river comes another 10. Now that when he checks, I don't see any 10s in his hand, or any strong hands are going to be checking here. I don't know if I have to bluff at this, but I don't want to take the chance and take this as a showdown and lose to a small pair of some sort. So we size up to $300. So he thinks about it after this pretty big $300 bet by me and ends up putting in the fold. So here we are, taking down the first pot of the night. It just might be that kind of night where we put a lot of money in the middle. Next hand, pocket 8 in +1. I open up the action to $20, and good old bicycle casino action. Action central here, as every single person behind me makes the call, so we're going 5 ways to the flop. The flop is king 7 king 2 spades. 5 ways, it's really not horrible. We can get value from 7x, we can get value from spade draws, and less likely that there's a king out there for trips. So when it checks to me, I lead out for $45 on this paired board, and only the cutoff makes the call. So we're going heads up to the turn, which is another king. Really good card for us, all things considered. Unlikely he's going to be sitting with quads here. We could sometimes bet here for value, but definitely going to be folding out all flush draws. So I decided to check, and he checks it back. The river's the queen of diamonds. This is not one of the ideal cards you wanted to see. A lot of queen X of spades holdings are obviously beating us, but I check. He bets $100, and if he has a queen, so be it. We deserve to lose this one, but tossing the call for $100, and he shows us 9-7 of hearts. We're taking this one down with a boat of 8s. Hand following this, we have Jack 10 offsuit in the cutoff, once again with an under the unstraddle, so 5-5-10. There's one limper to me, and I raise it up to $55. This has been a really limp-heavy game, and it seems like I'm one of the few people going to be raising pre. The small blind makes the call for $55, and the limper folds, so now once again we're going heads up. Flop comes queen 7 3 2 diamonds, and in this situation he checks to us. Just gonna put in the c-bet with 10 high. We do have some backdoor draws, but that's about it with no showdown. I bet $75, and he thinks about it before putting in chips for the call of 75. The turn comes the ace of clubs, and it brings in the backdoor flush draw. I'm just really unsure of what his small blind calling range is. I guess he could have some ace X of diamonds holdings, but when he checks to us, I think this is a decent spot to just continue firing, as continuing a story of a strong hand, this ace certainly hits our range more than his. So I bet $125 in this instance. He puts in the raise to $350, and unfortunately, this is an easy decision for us. We're going to leave. We're going to be out of this one. This one was quite the punt. Good thing, the very next hand in the hijack, we get rewarded with aces. Let's go. I opened it up to $20. The button, same player from last hand, who was the small blind. He makes the call. Now, the small blind in this instance puts in some really good news, puts in that 3-bet to $70, Thank you. Let's go. He's sitting pretty short. He has less than $500 in his stack, and I definitely want to isolate against a more short stack opponent. On tables like these, it seems like people just don't really have a light 3-bet range. So it's all really weighted towards value, and with aces, we're definitely going to put in the 4 bets. We size up to $185. The button gets out of the way, and to our surprise, the small blind puts in that 5-bet, baby. 5-bet to $420, leaving himself like $65 behind. Sure, I mean, we're going to have to do it. This is, I guess, technically called a 6-bet, but yeah, we're definitely not folding. So we jam, he makes the call. Let's go to a flop. Let's hold. An ace-high flop is really good. It's probably going to take this one down. The turn is a king, and he actually shows us pocket kings. So what a cooler. Aces versus kings pre-flop, and we both flop sets. This next hand here, ace-jack offsuit once again in the big blind, and there are 3 limps to me. Not letting this one get limped through, we put in the raise to $40. And 2 of the limpers make the call, one player under the gun and the other player in the small blind. So kind of sandwiched here. Going to a flop which comes ace 9-6 rainbow. Perfect flop for us with top pair. Pretty dry all around. I see bet $70, and unfortunately they're both going to fold. Really standard hand, just throwing this one in there. The next little premium we look down at, ace king of hearts in the hijack. And action folds to me. I opened up to $20, and the button and big blind both call. So pretty standard stuff here going on pre. Let's see a flop. The flop is ace 10-4 2 spades. It just seems like we're hitting everything right now, doing pretty well. So when checks to me, I decide to fire up a little bit larger of a bet to $50. The player on the button makes the call pretty quickly, and we're off to a turn. The turn comes the queen of clubs, brings in the backdoor flush draw, and definitely going to be debating between sizing up or sizing down. Sometimes we're afraid and behind of ace queen here, but he didn't 3-bet us pre, so it's a little less likely. Anyways, I bet $85, pretty much half pot, and he tanks for about a minute or so and ends up putting in the call. So thinking it for a while, feels like he has a marginal hand here, so we'll see. The river is beautiful. It's the 4 of hearts, so everything bricks out, which is nice. And I'm just praying he has an ace here, because now pretty much all 1-pair aces are going to be chopping besides being up against mine. So hoping he has an ace, I put in the overbet to $450. But unfortunately, he makes the fold pretty quickly. He later on told us that he turned a flush draw and double gutter. So yeah, we're going to be taking this one down and chipping up a little. This next spot with Jack 10 offsuit on the big blind. There's an on the gun limper, and the +1 player raises it up to $25. We get some action as the cutoff makes the call, the small blind makes the call, and on the big blind here, I really should be folding this out of position, but there's just so much in the middle, and hopefully we can just bink a pretty good flop and see what happens. So I do make the call here, although I do advise folding most of the time. The under the gun player who also limped now calls. So 5 ways to a freaking flop again. The flop is ace, jack 10, 2 diamonds, flopping bottom 2. Good enough for us, and better news, the small blind donk leads for $70. Definitely too small for us. Multi-way, let's try to increase the size of the pot. I raise it up to $200, and after this raise of $200, +1 player, the player who limped, rips it all in for $700 total. It folds around to the small blind who bet out the 70. She tanks for quite some time and ends up folding. Now onto me for $500 more. It seems like a pretty gross spot. I will say that the number of 2-pair combos or sets are pretty unlikely in this instance. Because he did limp under the gun, I don't think he's going to be limping under the gun with ace 10 or ace jack. At least I don't think so. So it leaves us to 2 real hands. We have the obvious straight of king queen. Is he going to be limping king queen off, king queen suited? I guess. Or he has ace x of diamonds for top pair and flush draw. So, really just trying to figure out what I want to do, what I'm targeting, how likely I am beat here. If he has a straight, we still have 4 outs. It's not a lot of outs, but there's still outs. So we're never drawing dead. And I'm thinking this is pretty much a toss-up in there with 525 in the middle, $1,200 total in the pot, and 500 more to call, getting a little less than 2.5 to 1 on a call. At the end of the day, folding is boring. We have had a really hot start, so yeah, let's gamble a little bit maybe. Let's just see. Let's just push the variance. We toss in a chip for a call. We're off to a run out. The turn comes the 8 of diamonds. That is probably horrible for us. And the river is unimproved for us. And he asked if I have a flush. I do not. And he shows us king jack off suits. So that's a pretty tough hit there on our stack. We were running it up pretty well and decided to, maybe it was a punt. I'm not entirely sure. Let me know in the comments below. But in a very limp-heavy game, I guess they're going to be limping a very wide range or maybe a narrow range from under the gun. Following hand, we go 10-9 of diamond in the small blind with an under the gun straddle. There is a limp to me, and you know I'm not going to be limping this. I love putting on some aggression. So I raise it up to $55. Now the under the gun straddler makes the call for 55, and the limper folds and gets out of the way. So here, probably against a little bit of a tighter range, but we'll see. The flop comes ace, jack, jack, rainbow. Not anything special going on here, but definitely good enough to c-bet, as the ace should hit us more often than him, but maybe not in this case because I'm raising literally any two. I c-bet $40, pretty small, probably going to get folds from a lot of hands, but unfortunately he's going to make the call, so we're pretty much going to be giving up on all turn cards. The turn comes the 8 of diamonds. You know what I said about giving up? This is probably one of the very few cards I'm not giving up on. Improved to the open-ended straight flush draw, and with a real monster here, but no showdown, I decided to overbet the pot to $225. We're both playing pretty deep. He had about $900 to start the hand, so with this bet of $225, he thinks about it and puts in the call. So with about a pot-sized bet left of $600-ish, we're going to the river. The river is the king of hearts, not improved here, and definitely have a decision to make to either just push the variance and pot it, or just relax, slow down a little bit, and not have to bluff every single hand. I feel like I can sometimes go for the triple barrel. I feel like I would hear from a jack on that turn there, as the board does get a little more wet. But yeah, I decided to play lower variance, check. He checks it back, and he shows us ace queen, so nice hand, Paul. Just really couldn't pull that third trigger here this time. Not sure if you would have called or folded, but definitely would have been an interesting spot had I jammed before. Last hand of the night. We start off really hot, and things have not been going amazing. Here in +1 with ace jack of diamonds, there's one limper, and I raise things up to $30. Are you surprised at this point now that we're here at the bike? The player to my left makes the call. He's been calling pretty much every single hand that I've raised in, so that's pretty interesting to note. And 4 other callers behind. Yes, you heard it. Once again, 6 ways to the flop. And the flop is ace, queen, 3, rainbow. Top pair. Certainly good enough for us on a relatively dry board. So I c-bet $70 when action checks to me. And now the player to my left raises it up to $250. Action pretty much folds to me pretty quickly, and now I have a decision to make. He's been pretty passive most of the time, and seeing this aggression, especially this large, and against him who's pretty passive, seems really strong. I do have the backdoor flush draw. I do have a little bit of a backdoor straight draw, which is really ambitious, but I really don't know what value hands he could have here. I think ace queen would be 3-betting a large percentage of the time, and the only value hands I could really see are just ace 3 suited or pocket 3s. Anyways, I'm not folding on the flop yet, since it's $180 into $500. I decided to call. The turn comes the 7 of spades, brings in the backdoor flush draw, and definitely checking all of my range to him. I check, and now he throws out a massive bet of $450. I don't feel great about this spot, but is he ever really going to be overplaying hands like ace 10, ace 9, ace 8, maybe some really ambitious improved flush draw? I don't know, but it's really late. probably a little tilted, and calling off is a terrible spot. So I have about $1,150 in my stack. So if I call, leave myself like $700 behind, it's really not the best idea. So seems like a jam or fold situation. Do we ever turn our hand into a bluff, semi-bluff? I'm not entirely sure, but the value hands are slim, ace-3 or pocket threes, now sometimes ace-7, but we're going with it. I rip it all in, and he snap calls, which is horrible. The river is a 5, and he shows us pocket queens rip. That was a tough pill to swallow. He has been playing every single hand that I raised in. Decided to flat call pre-flop with pocket queens here, and we're going to lose this one. Big time punts for a big time disaster.
So just got cracked. Obviously we played some pretty awful poker, and these sessions happen, but it can be avoided by not going to the casino and starting a session at 3 a.m. I played for 2.5 hours. It's 5:30 in the morning now. I haven't slept yet, and it could be avoided. This one really could have been avoided. Just played horribly. No reason. Just horrible. I think I misplayed a lot of hands, like big time, and got into spots where I didn't need to be. Got into tricky spots like that Jack 10 hand. Had no reason to be in that hand. Ace Jack, I think I could probably find a fold on the turn. I'm never really folding the flop there, but I didn't see any value hands. I thought it was just ace 3, pocket threes, sometimes ace 7 getting turned there. That's a tough pill to swallow, because I just know how easily avoidable it could have been. Anyways, that's an overall. We played for 2.5 hours, in for 1,000, out for 0. I'm not happy about it. You guys shouldn't be either, and this is going to be painful to upload. Maybe you guys can leave a pity like. We'll figure it out. We'll be back on the. We'll check out some other card rooms for sure. We're gonna keep on playing, gonna keep on grinding, but right now it hurts for sure. There's that. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys got some entertainment out of this, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.